Hello and welcome back to Autism at Home, brought to you by us at Early Autism Project Malaysia through our non-profit initiative, the Hope Project. My name is Joshebet Isaacs and we are here on our last lesson of our 24th series, Functional Communication. And this lesson is entitled Troubleshooting Functional Communication. Now, we have taught a number of different strategies and ideas, and in theory, all of this may sound great, but perhaps you have tried to put them into practice and you're getting stuck. Now, bear in mind that we are actually physically present in all of our EAP clinical programs. So this means that we're actually right there, guiding the families we work with, guiding the parents, guiding our therapists, and we're constantly troubleshooting on the spot. So if you're trying to practice this on your own from our online video resources, good on you and well done for trying your best. Typically, whenever we get stuck, meaning a child may not be using the visuals to communicate and perhaps even resorting back to more challenging behaviors, it starts to feel like this is not working and we should just forget about it. However, we always try to go back to basics, and this includes our 3 key ABA strategies. So I'll always ask, are we breaking the skill down enough? Is it easy enough for our child to understand? Sometimes this is as simple as the visual on the PECS is not clear, as in literally it's a blurry photo. Or there may be too many pictures out at the same time and it's confusing for your child. Oftentimes, our kiddos just need to have a prerequisite skill, such as is it picking up the visual that's challenging, meaning the fine motor skills are difficult and therefore they need more strengthening, or is it the visual discrimination piece that is difficult and therefore a child needs more matching and scanning practices. This can actually be accessed at our Unit 11 on building attention. So some tips in this area that we have done, actually at the recommendation of the PECS manual themselves, which is to use thicker cards and to cut them out in the shape of the actual item. For example, a round ball or a rectangle iPad visual. At EAP, our programs are also comprehensive. So we will be working on multiple areas simultaneously. And so we will typically be working on a fine motor strengthening program, as well as a matching and scanning program, as well as a receptive labels program, which will definitely help with the visual discrimination piece. One more tip in this area is that initially we really want to make it very successful for our kiddos. And this means not demanding verbalizations. Of course, if our student was to say the word instead of reaching for the PECS, then immediately give them the item they verbally requested, because speech is the ultimate goal. It's always the ultimate goal. However, too often we've seen well-meaning teachers or eager parents start to demand for the words, and initial communicators start to shut down and stop communicating. So let's remember to get our kiddos, set them up to be successful. Now, the second key strategy is, are we pairing with reinforcement? Now, the main basis of ABA is operant conditioning, which essentially means there's the pairing of reinforcement, very close in timing. It's actually within seconds to the instruction or task in order to develop that positive association. And so the first troubleshooting areas would be to check if there's a delay. So from the time a child picks up the visual, perhaps they're flicking it back and forth and then only prompted to give it to an adult who then takes a few minutes to get the item. All of this results in delay after delay, and that pairing is just not achieved. So it doesn't work. So then you have to start again. Just start again. Have reinforcement that's being requested ready and on standby. Have a second adult to prompt straight away. So from the moment a child picks up the picture, to put it in the hand of the communicator adult. Also, very importantly would be, are you using the strongest reinforcement that a child is actually motivated to request for? I joked in one of the earlier lessons that if only our kiddos would request for carrots and cucumbers, but since that is not the case, are we using their favorite snacks that they just can't get for free at other times? And a very common mistake is, of course, the availability of these reinforcing items. I have had this experience myself, whereby we were trying to teach a child who was very motivated for Mentos. And as you know, if a child pecks for it, my job was to give the Mentos. I was a new therapist at the time. My mistake was not cutting up into little pieces, because as you know, a Mentos is kind of big and chewy, and essentially that was the end of the practice. Similarly, a child was learning to PECS for a specific fizzy drink and would get a little portion poured into their cup each time they requested. but some well-meaning relative decided to buy them a whole 1-liter bottle one day right before the session, and there again went the practice opportunities out the door, as the child was fully satiated and not interested anymore in requesting for little sips at a time. Now, the third most common KABA strategy is, are we providing sufficient practice? Now, in almost every area we teach, we remind families and our teams that we need to have sufficient practice in order for a child to learn a new skill and to retain that skill. So for example, 1 or 2 opportunities of PACS practice a day is just not sufficient for a child to learn. And if you have been following us for a while, you would have heard me repeat this in the past, but I'm going to emphasize it again here. With most of the children with autism that we work with, there's usually a developmental delay from their own abilities in comparison with their actual age. This gap is actually going to widen as time passes. And so for a child to be able to catch up on those missing skills as well as current development, a child needs to practice more times than normal, which is why we emphasize the structure of a child's day. So if only 1 hour a week is in speech therapy, what about the other 12 hours a day times 7? So about 83 to 84 hours a week. The only way to really turn the tide is to have more practice. And that's one of the reasons why ABA is so effective when it's conducted with intensive hours, more than 32 hours a week. And so those are the 3 key main guidelines for troubleshooting functional communication. Just a couple more tips is, please don't hide the PACS book or visuals. Rather, use the other communication strategies as explained in lesson 6. Or you could use an X over the PACS to try to communicate that it is all finished. And so now it's your turn. Try your best to get started on some area of functional communication. It would be best to choose one strategy, be it PACS, be it communication apps, and we would recommend to implement the following 2 strategies regardless if you choose PACS or the device to teach communications. Remember to have location-based visuals, and please implement communicating to your child using visuals, 2-way communication. Most of all, don't give up. Reach out for help if you're really feeling stuck. And so that is it from us for our 24th series on functional communication. Please leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, some kind of response so that we know if this content is helping you. And of course, please do not hesitate to reach out if you're stuck in any way. Take care and comment below what series you would like us to work on next. Autism at Home is brought to you by the Hope Project, which is the non-profit arm of Early Autism Project Malaysia. All the content development, our clinical expertise and time is completely borne by EAP Malaysia, and the production of these videos so far are funded solely through donations and fundraising. If you found these resources helpful and would like to contribute in some way, please do pledge a donation at autismmalaysia.com/thehopeproject. Thank you very much for your support. And with the amount of interest we have received online, we've actually started providing online services and have worked with clients in other states of Malaysia, as well as other countries such as New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, Switzerland, Indonesia, China, and Brunei. So do get in touch with us for more information by scanning this QR code. If you haven't already, do check out our online resource platform, Autism at Home, which has all the lesson videos, corresponding articles, and downloadables available for you for free. Stay updated through our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And do click on the subscribe and follow buttons to get more information. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you very soon.